Good afternoon, YouTube. We are back. Haven't been on the stream since what day were we on the stream? I don't remember the last day that we were live, but we're ripping some schnauzers. 4 days ago we were live, but yeah, we were ripping some schnauzers. We did actually completely finish that. We max entered that 20 entries. It still has a few more percent to go. So about 4.5% still needed to fill. They still got 20-second pick clocks going. If you want to draft the Schnauzer right now or anything else, go ahead, click the link in the description, code temptation. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into one of these newer tournaments. I think we're gonna rip, I don't know if we want to rip the single entry Corgi right now. The account is not looking good right now. We're down to our last $7 from our winnings from last year. I didn't keep all my winnings in here from last year. We won almost $1,000 in here last year, but took a lot of that out, spent that money on various things for the house, and then some football, baseball card stuff for my collection. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and actually take a look at the news feed to see if there's anything important that we need to look at, and it looks like nothing really. So let's actually just jump right into this. But the question still remains, do we want to do the single entry right now for $5, 25K to first? Structure is 212, 110, and 15 75 seat final. For those of you who are unfamiliar, that would be you got to be top 2 out of the 12 in the room that you draft with. Then you get slotted into a pod of 10. You need to come first there. Slotted into a 5-person pod. You need to come in first, and then the 75 seat final. The Poodle, however, is a 212, 16, 15, 310 seat final. A little bit better advanced structure, but not single entry. Let's actually jump into a Poodle. Ooh. We're not gonna max the Poodle, but I think we will get a few drafts in. It has filled up pretty quickly. Yeah, the Poodle's already 40% full. The Corgi, we have some time. Again, a single entry, we have some time maybe to get that. I mean, just is the better structure in the Poodle, but the Corgi is nice because, again, single entry contests are very nice for people that, like ourselves, who aren't high spenders, high rollers, not maxing everything out. To give us a chance at winning, because whenever you can max out contests, obviously the more bullets you have in a loaded gun, the more chances you have of a bullet hitting, versus one in the chamber where odds are spread out pretty equally and accordingly. And then obviously you can get some edges, and that's where the edges matter more. Is you can get, whether you're getting your own, your guys that you believe in as your edge, or just, value in a draft room in a certain pod, all that kind of stuff is where you're finding an edge in these single entries. But I also do like the lower entry maxes. So the Pitbull's 10 entry max, $20 buy-in, 100K to first. So that's a nice tournament as well. Waiting on the Puppy Superflex to finish Really just waiting on the next puppy to drop. I love drafting the puppy. Always $5 entries. Assuming the next one they come out with will be similar to this one. It actually might be 2 million in prizes for the next one. 200k to first. So we'll actually see how that plays out. So we got the puppy loaded up. Let's take a look at our Schnauzer 2 slow draft that we hopped in. This was our last one to finish up the Schnauzer. We're not on the clock for 6 picks, but we did start CD, AJ Brown, and Chase Brown. Kind of unique. Not Lamb of the 5, not very unique, but this is right around CD's ADP. We get a little bit of a faller in AJ Brown. Hoping we can get Jalen Hurts. We're probably gonna have to take Hurts at 44 just because usually if Devontae Smith doesn't go here, one of these drafters goes Smith Hurts. So gonna have to make that decision if we want to grab Hurts early there. But let's go to the Poodle. We are pick 8 here. Drafting around a lot of the badges. Didn't actually look at our exposures. We can go ahead and let's see what our exposures are right here. So most drafted guys, the 2 most right now out of everything, which is 26 teams. George Pickens, Brenton Strange. Most drafted quarterbacks, Daniels, Prescott, Mahomes, Stroud. Most drafted running backs, Kamara, Rashad White, Ray Davis. Pickens, Slayton, Evans, and then Strange and Chig. We're about to be on the clock here. Puka goes. Bijan makes it all the pick 6. I don't want to go. Go ahead and grab Neighbors. Don't have a lot of Neighbors. I have a lot of McCaffrey, given it's not in this tournament, but I do have a lot of McCaffrey in the Schnauzer and whatnot. So also McCaffrey's been like a big riser in ADP. Not that matters because this contest just opened and then this contest is probably going to fill pretty quickly. So I say it all the time, but ADP adjustments don't happen much in contests that open and close pretty quickly. So whereas like it, again, bigger contests where you can enter more, behooves you to always be drafting, every couple of days instead of ripping them all at once, just to get those different ADPs, get different kinds of builds. You don't always have to reach on players to get unique builds in that sense. Whereas these, we're on the clock, but don't think I want Bowers. Good Neighbors McConkey. But yeah, and these unique, like, not unique tournaments, but just the ones that are going to close quicker, whether they're open for about a week or less. You'd more like to get some kind of uniqueness going. So like this guy goes Higgins, Puka and Higgins, which is not a usual thing, and you can achieve that build by either taking Puka a little earlier here, which does happen. People will reach on Puka a little bit before ADP, and then as you know, Higgins's ADP typically tends to be around the end of round 2. So, but typically he's getting paired up with like these guys here. So to mix it in with Puka T Higgins, you get a bit of a unique build. While I do think you do sacrifice some upside though by passing on like an Achane, a Bowers. And I do think there is, well, It's hard to say with Higgins just because of the offense, but like he is obviously not the bona fide one in that system. Whereas the first guys that come off the board and Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, all the way to we get Ladd are the two different tier levels, and Higgins kind of falls into like that end of the A tier. Obviously S tier is Chase, Jefferson, Lamb. Maybe you could fit Nakua into that. Then you get to the A tier guys of Neighbors, Collins, ARSB, and these guys here. AJ Brown going at 15 is actually kind of different too, but not too different. Run the clock real quick. We'll keep talking about that, but let's go ahead and grab Brees. Not too different in terms of where McCaffrey goes right now. So if you think about it, AJ Brown's like he gets a faller in McCaffrey to 10. His ADP is 8, which McCaffrey was going around before this draft opened, typically end of the first, in the second, beginning of the second. He's climbed ADP, but if you're getting him here, then AJ Brown's ADP is typically like here. That's not super unique. You get the value in McCaffrey, and then teams have McCaffrey, AJ Brown. So nothing crazy there, but getting Kyron could be a little bit different as well. Yeah, not super different. Also, I want to pull up the fantasy football playoff schedule. So just a nice little cheat sheet to have. We're actually going to screenshot this, get it up on the screen for while we're drafting. I don't have an overlay. I'm not paying for an overlay to show me when the weeks 15, 16, 17 schedules are. I have a broad range of people here. Let's go DK. We go Neighbors, McConkey, Brees, and DK. Yeah, let's actually. Whoops, didn't want to do that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get all of this. Can I zoom out? There we go. I want to grab that though. So how would I grab this? Is there a way that I can like pull this? That's not what I wanted. If there's a way I can pull that. Anyway, the Chargers play Houston, Dallas. Where we at? Kittle's a big faller. This guy's not gonna. I mean, he could take Kittle. I'd like to take Kittle. This guy goes Hurts right before. Definitely would like Kittle. Kittle goes at 54, mixing off the board. I like Chuba. Yeah, we'll continue picking Chuba up. Definitely one of my favorite clicks, especially past ADP. I just want to figure out how to get this up on so we can get that week 17 correlation going. Travion's an option. To roll with Brees. On the clock again. Travion goes. Depot off quick. Will Godwin is our fourth receiver here. That doesn't feel bad. Trending in the right direction. Okay, let's figure out how to get this out. Not an overlay necessarily, but just kind of. I mean, I guess I could just shrink it. But that looks stupid. Hmm. No. Okay, whoops. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna actually be able to grab this and have it as like an overlay. It would just be really nice to have this out and like I can drag it around. I don't know. I'll do that off stream or something. Judkins' value doesn't feel horrible with the Steelers week 17 build. Diggs has some correlation as well. I don't think I have any Judkins, so let's just take the Faller and Judkins. We don't have any of him, but see how it plays out. I actually don't think I've taken any of him. Need a little bit of a stance on him, but I just rather would take. I have a decent amount of Diggs too. It's like I would rather be taking guys like Jerome Ford or even Dylan Sampson much later, who are guys that are going to get work in that backfield and given going to be probably a horrible offense unless unless Flacco plays a decent amount of games, so bad offense. Not going to run the ball a lot, or at least you wouldn't imagine. So, like, working on pass game, and that's not even like his forte, is not in the pass game. So, you don't love to see that, but we do get the correlation with the Steelers. Which is fine with me, to be honest. So now we're kind of open to do a few different things here. I think let's go Hawkinson. Haven't taken any of him at tight end. And then that leaves us open for, we're not going to get Baker. We could have gotten Baker there. Now there's pretty much no way. We do have a shot at Justin Fields, though. Who else do we have? And then we're kind of rolling with, like, you know, Herbert. I don't like anybody with neighbors, per se. Drake May can be a one-off as well. Herbert does give us the route and the out to JJ. So we do have options. Jaden Higgins goes. I was thinking Jaden Higgins as well, but so again, we start 2 receivers, 1 running back. So we go Neighbors, McConkey, Hall, Metcalf, Hubbard, Godwin, Judkins, Hawkinson. So kind of a balanced build through and through. Got 3 running backs, 4 receivers, and a tight end. Definitely going to be a probably 3-5-7-3 build, just standard. Could get away with Hawkinson being like quote unquote elite tight end, end of tier. And he would be if we had more insight on QB situation. Baker might fall to us at pick 104, so maybe the patience pays off. The only guy that I would assume would take him, so this guy's gonna take Baker most likely. Fowler and Baker with Ibuka. I'd imagine that happens. Doesn't happen actually. So we're gonna take the ADP value in Baker, pair him up with Godwin. Almost 10 picks past ADP. I like where we're sitting at with this roster construction, especially with the Fowler and Baker is huge for us. We get him as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get him as QB 10. And he was, I want to say, QB 4 last season. So doesn't feel too bad. Plus they play Carolina in week 16. So that's nice and cozy as well. Scattabay. All right, I need a receiver. But not a lot of options at receiver, to be honest. I think no option at receiver. Should we just go one-way Drake May? Let's go ahead and take Drake May. Because I don't want to reach a receiver. And then we can always take Ramondre. Or even like a late Hunter Henry if we wanted to. Because Drake May is someone that can go unstackable, has rushing upside. And if we wanted, we can always get like Rodgers super late or Bryce. Like definitely not gonna go Herbert or JJ. Definitely getting to a point where I would love. We need receivers. Is what happens right now. McCarthy goes to the Jefferson team at 122 and Ramondre. Didn't realize we were on the long side of the clock. That's my bad. At this point, I think I'm going to go Njoku. Again, still have outs to Hunter Henry. Later. Still need receivers, but there's just been a big fall off, so not going to force anything. Tillman's an option. I don't. That's the only problem is I don't want to load my team with Cleveland guys when I don't love that. Their offense, but see what happens. We could go ahead and get another share of Ray Davis. I am kind of obsessed with going Ray Davis or Rachaad White. I think we're going to have to go Rachaad White for the sole purpose of having Baker. Yeah, we have Baker and... Dang, we have a ton of running backs with week 9 buys though. Didn't even look at the bye weeks. That's kind of tough for us there. Herbert ends up falling to the unstacked team, which they can get QJ on the way back. Kind of a typical play there. So, uncertainty here. We might have to pivot and make this a 2 quarterback build like usual and rip 6 running backs just because of what happened. This team needs receiver bad though. Right now we really need something at receiver. Unfortunately, I don't want to take Tillman. I do like Dobbs. He feels like a solid click. Never mind, he goes to just I don't even know why he goes there, but pretty receiver heavy room right now. And I don't want to load up on Cleveland, but it's almost looking like Tillman goes, so never mind. Algier goes. This is looking ugly for us. We're just gonna have to reach on McMillan here. We don't need any of these other guys at all. Like, I guess we could have went Fryermuth was an option, but I mean, receiver's so down bad for us. They're just coming off the board like crazy. I would have liked to have would have liked Tyler Algier there. Fit with our bye weeks. Maybe we go tank. Fryermuth off the board. Maybe we go tank. Hope Hunter Henry comes back around. Could go Thielen though. We made the bet on Carolina. No, let's go tank. We'll go tank. Heads at ETN actually sucks. So now we're up to a 2-5-5-2 build. We got Baker, Drake May, Hall, Hubbard, Judkins, White, Bigsby at running back, Neighbors, McConkey, Metcalf, Godwin, McMillan at receiver, and then Hawkinson and Njoku at tight end. Kind of gross betting on Cleveland, but here we are. We have a ton of Tampa, so hopefully that offense, runs it back there. That would feel nice. Need receivers bad. All these teams already have 7 and 6 receivers. I wouldn't mind a share of Noel. I like Alec Pierce. I like Michael Wilson. These are all guys that could get it done for us. Pierce off. I don't really know who else we could go at tight end. Not the end of the world to have just Hawkinson and Njoku. The thing with Thielen is we already bet on Carolina, but at the same time, Noel goes. Do we think Thielen's actually going to do much for us by the end of the year? My only concern with his age. Look how much Thielen I have. We'll go Michael Wilson. I have a little bit of correlation with Drake May. We kind of ran him dry though, with no stacks with Drake May, so we're running him solo dolo. And I'm not gonna take a flyer on any of these guys. It's just not gonna happen. So we are running Drake May solo, but he is lined up with the Jets and Breece Hall for week 17. I don't feel so bad about him being unstacked, being a rusher. Bryce Young falls 30 or 30 picks past ADP, and Cam Ward goes. Mason Taylor, we're on the board. We'll just go Calvin Austin with DK. So we'll double up on Pitt receivers, double up on Tampa receivers. Find a running back we like. Which I'm not sure who that's going to be. But we do need to find one. Tampa. I'm not thrilled with this team by any means, but Bryce Young does go off a 187 to an unstacked team. Just grabbing Bryce Young for pure value, which whatever, respectable. He does have DJ Moore and Caleb Williams, and then Stroud and Higgins and Noel. Damn, he has 3 RBs to start. Quite the team, huh? 3 rookie receivers. Just really banking on this team, my team, you know, the top 4 guys putting volume and then hoping Godwin actually plays to start the year. I don't love taking McMillan where I took him, but it was so gross a receiver, and we needed a receiver that's just kind of how the cards fell there. Cannot take another running back with a... Do we roll with like a Brashard Smith? Why not get a little freaky? Mix that in. And now do we go... Probably go third tight end here. Nothing screams quarterback for us. Not going to try to galaxy brain a 0. Rashard Smith could already be a 0. Probably should have won someone that has more one-off value. Really, the only one there would be like Blake Corum, but I think we go ahead and run third tight end here. Maybe like Noah Gray, since we took Rashard Smith. Also, Jatavian Sanders is an option. Up for debate here. Let's see. We either go Jatavion and mix him with Chuba or Noah Gray in Kansas City. There's more upside in Gray. We'll go no gray. So team rounds out 2-6-7-3 build. We go Baker, Drake May, Brees Hall, Chuba, Quinshon Judkins, Rashad White, Tank Bigsby, Brashard Smith. Kind of got locked into taking 6 whenever we took 3 running backs with week 9 buys. And it wasn't early enough to take the 4. Like we end up with like Tank at week 8, Brashard Smith, or with a week 8 buy. I picked 161 and Brashard Smith, I picked 200. Like 2 guys that aren't even guaranteed to like get the touches on those bye weeks. Where like I'd feel a lot more comfortable if Brashard Smith had a week 9 bye and I wasn't necessarily missing out on like valuable points where like I know Judkins is probably going to touch the ball. I know Rashad White. I mean, don't know, but like more in line to touch the ball than guys down here. Receiver room, I don't feel too bad about it in Neighbors, McConkey, Metcalf, Godwin, McMillan, Wilson, and Calvin Austin. Pair up the Steelers receivers, pair up Godwin, McMillan with Rashad White and Baker. So I don't feel horrible about it all. But at the same time, I thought the draft started out really well and kind of turned ugly there at the last second. So do with that information as you will. But let's go ahead and should we run one back? Let's get some money in here. Let's run some back. And if you haven't already and you haven't been on Underdog, use code Temptation, link in the description below. You guys get up to $1,000 deposit match on your first deposit. We are not sponsored or affiliated. Let's go ahead and get in the single entry Corgi, why don't we? Yeah, make sure you use that code if you haven't. I mean, definitely helps us out a little bit. Obviously helps you guys out a little bit. Yeah, and you guys get the draft practice for your home leagues. Maybe win some money. If you want to too, look, you can kind of go here. You don't have to play any of these tournaments. The more high stakes, more highly competitive. You can go down here, do $3 drafts, $5 drafts, and you can do it with 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, or 12 people. You can even do a slow draft there. A lot less competitive, more casual like this, but it's still best ball. And still fun. You can do these all the way up to like, they have a $10,000 draft, $1,000. Like, you can big dog this stuff as well if you wanted to. And I'm pretty sure you used to be able to make customs. Yeah, you can create private drafts as well. Yeah, so if you wanted to like do a home league or do things with your friends, you can create custom leagues where it's already all set up for you. You literally just click, you know, if you want to do a 2-person, 3-person, whatever, you click the information button, click create private draft. It gives you a link. All your friends can join as long as they're signed up on Underdog. Bang, you get your own best ball league with your buddies. Just for some fun, added fun for the year. Or if that's how you want to run your league, you know, that's also a possibility. Or just run a separate league, which is cool as well. But yeah, while we're waiting for this, 6 of 12 filled. I still have no idea how to pull this. Like, I want to be able to drag this around. Is it because of the PNG? Can I like make it a JPEG? Not exactly sure. Resize? No. The last time. Could resize this one. Let me see. Folder. Now it's a JPEG. Let's see. No, it's still in the same thing. Okay, well, never mind. Hold on, let's delete that. Almost filled for the corgi. Again, $5 entry. Single entry. I think 25K to first. Yeah, 25 to first. Also, another single entry going on, the Greyhound, $35 entry. I think 30K to first. Little flatter payout. Two 12-1514, kind of a really nice structure there for playoffs. Super duper nice. Let's actually see. Let's see if see if they update these rankings or not. So we have some updated rankings here. Yeah, updated fantasy football rankings on the Underdog site by Hayden Winks. Updated on June 25th, half PPR rankings. So those are useful. We have a video coming up where I use the rankings. Might have to make another one where I use updated rankings, I guess. Court's backed up. Yeah, we'll probably do another draft with some updated stuff with these. I would like to do some other things as well. Use some other rankings for drafts. 8 out of 12 full for these. Honestly, we could make a video right now using the updated Underdog rankings if we wanted to, but let's not do that. I plan on making a review video of last year for when I drafted my team that made the finals in the, I think it was, I don't know for the Fast Puppy or the Puppy 2. 200K finals. But I use Fantasy Pro rankings. I'm not usually the biggest fan of their rankings, but clearly I need to be on board. I need to stop building these damn 2 quarterback teams. Because God forbid that it's a year that quarterback injuries are back among us. Ugh, I would not be happy. One is not filling very fast, which is kind of surprising that the $5 single entry draft is filling so much slower than, I guess people are trying to wait out their single entry, but it's, filling so much slower than the poodle. I get it. I mean, the poodle is only $7 more, and you can enter 20 times. Bigger prize pool, blah blah blah. But I mean, kind of crazy, in my opinion. If you guys haven't already, too, make sure you drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you press the bells for notifications. The bell, not the bells. The bell for notifications for when we go live. Again, it's kind of random. Still trying to do like 3 times a week. Had family in town the last couple of days, so it wasn't live for a couple of days there. But yeah, once August hits, like I've been saying, I'm going to try to draft every day as long as there are tournaments available to us, which there should be, even if there aren't. Like, again, we're more into the lower end tournaments, but even if there are no low end stuff, we can still draft weekly winners, which we want to continue to build upon. I think we have 3 of those now. Yeah, I need to do some more marathons as well. So we'll see how that locks in and locks up. Again, had a plan going in where I was like 10 marathons, 10 weekly winners. Still have 2 best ball manias to build. Just trying to make like a budget. So that would be like $300 just in that alone, and then we've already put in. Let's calculate this, like 30, 40, 60 from the schnauzers. That's like 90, 100, 105, 112 dollars in all this so far, just in the normal tournaments. I don't count these single entry or the small entry stuff. So we're already $112 deep. Yeah, I mean, last year we put in almost $400, I want to say. That was including Best Ball Resurrection, though. And those are like $10 entries. So I think we had about 65 drafts, almost 70 drafts for the regular season last year, which was fun. Good sweat. Again, weekly winners are fun to sweat every week. If you do eliminators, that's also fun to sweat every week. We're almost full here. Need one more. But yeah, tons of different things to sweat the season, sweat the playoffs, sweat everything. But yeah, draft with us. Do it. Come draft with us. Don't really think there's any like news going on. I haven't seen much. Come on, get us in this lobby. I'm trying to draft. See what we can get. I also want to do, I need to continuously build like a spreadsheet is what I would like to do, of like just all of the builds that I have made, whether it's been like hyper fragile, hero RB, robust, blah 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 blah, all those like different kind of builds. Kind of goes through, see what I've built, get some data on last year as well. Looks like we filled up, to see all the teams that I built and what, did well on my end, at least. But we're into a lobby. We're ready to start kicking. Pick 4, ready to go. Now it's a matter of who we should take. Who do you think we should take, chat? Who are we thinking? This is our singular bullet, so we need to be right. I don't care about exposures. Maybe I should care about playoffs more. Something I should look into, I guess. Couple badges in this lobby, about half. We go Jamar, JJ, Bijan. We're on the clock. Man. I'm going CD. My single entry, I'm not taking Saquon. Like, I hate being put in the position to take Saquon because obviously he's in the greatest situation he could be in. But at the same time, his usage last year is just so concerning. Like, the red flags are there. Whereas for Lamb, I don't see the red flags as much. It's a betting on a Dak odd year. If you don't know that, and the stats to back it up, go ahead, take a look at Dak's history of performances in odd years versus even years. Yeah, even years he tends to just like get hurt and that's it. Odd years he balls out, stays healthy. So something to note. History repeats itself. I'm gonna let it repeat itself. I like CD. He finishes the wide receiver 1. Has proven he can do it. You can get him as the 3rd wide receiver, sometimes the 4th. If people take Puka, but completely cool with it. I just don't like drafting, honestly, in the early slots because you're stuck with Barkley, stuck with questionable JJ. Unless you're at the 1, you can get Chase, but yeah, Barkley doesn't even go as the 2 or closer to the 1 anymore. Like, he's fallen to ADP 3. Like, people started taking Bijan a little bit and JJ. I've seen Lamb on the rise recently as well. And I could be wrong. Like, I could be wrong about all of it. But honestly, I have enough Barkley. Again, I said I wasn't going to worry about exposures, but in this sense too, that like I have enough Barkley that I don't need to put him in to my 104 pick. But let's go ahead and take a look at playoffs. We're about to be on the board. No. No. Oh no. Okay, we're on the board. That was a little mix up. We're gonna have to get that back up in a sec. We took Lad last draft. Let's go ahead and take Take T. That's gonna follow the 22. Can I get this back up? Here we go. Let's just put this here. Let's go ahead and look at like Dallas. Of course, is covered. Are we serious? It's covered in the screenshot. I know they play the Commanders week 17, I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, what about Cincy? They play Arizona. We should have set up the Marvin Harrison. McBride might fall. We'll definitely lock in McBride with Higgins there. So the Chase drafter locks in the Harrison Chase build for week 17. We go with the McBride Higgins stack there. We also set ourselves up for Burrow over Jamar Chase, the Jamar Chase team, which kind of is usually how it goes, unless Higgins makes it back. The only problem now is like T and CD have the same damn bye. Let's go ahead and look at that. Hold on. The screenshot's kind of wonky, but yeah, Dallas does play Washington in week 17, so they play the Chargers in week 16, so we could have went McConkey, but we went Lad last draft. It was a nice value. We ended up getting McBride at a nice value, so. Again, you get a. Whoops. I'm gonna go like blind reading this. We got CDT and McBride. What else we could line up here? Is there any commander stuff? There's not gonna be any commander stuff. QB's flying off the board, by the way. Hurts goes at 41. No Cincy stuff and then no commander stuff, so not worried there. Maureen Hampton goes. It feels like I want James Cook here. A little bit of value on Cook. Buffalo stacks with Philly week 17. No build there. This like area of receiver slash running back is like very, I don't want to say off-putting, but it's hard to tell where I want some of these guys at. if that makes sense. Um, Dang, I can't get Ridley week 10 bye. Let's go Kenneth Walker. I can't. I think Zay's like at his ceiling, so unless he's scoring more touchdowns, I think he peaks there. I can't openly just take Zay over. I could have went Waddle. Couldn't have went Ridley due to the week 10 bye, and our receivers have week 10 buys. We go Kenneth Walker. So we open CD, T, McBride, James Cook, Kenneth Walker. The guy after us has 3 running backs already with Tyreek. Gotta be careful. The team ahead of us, in front of us, has Pickens, so that actually helps for Dak, in my opinion. If I wanted to stack Dak here. Still have the option to grab Burrow as well, because the one drafter did not take Joe Burrow. There's still quite a possibility for us. Chuba falls a little bit past ADP. So does Calvin Ridley. Adunze goes a little bit ahead. Godwin goes a little bit ahead. Burrow off to the Lamar team, literally just to take Burrow. There's really no other stacks you could build. That dude's a bum. Hope you get kicked in the balls today. Don't really care about you. Like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, I can't stand being in these rooms. Really. But anyway. To our next point, like we could go Debo for the Dallas build. We do need receivers. I like Debo there. Hopefully he can bounce back a little bit in this offense. Try to get Shakir. Already made our bet on James Cook. And then we can try to get... We're not going to be able to get any Eagles stacks, though, for week 17. So we can kind of hone in on week 16, maybe. Cleveland, never mind. Should have taken Judy then. No problem with taking these two is now we have players that are unstackable. Could go Shakir. We could go Golden. We'll go Shakir. I find myself taking a lot of receiver in that range. Probably could have went. I don't mind Pollard there, but again, we made the bet on James Cook. Hopefully, Shakir gets some touchdown regression to himself. The only problem again is we just unstack. We can't get Josh Allen, and we can't get Jaden Daniels. We can get Kyler, and we can get Dak, and we got sniped on this moron right here. So we'll see what he ends up doing with it. Just an unstacked Joe Burrow. Probably knowing that I was just going to get value on him 6 picks or 9 picks past ADP, and if I didn't take him, he was going to get them. When like routinely you'll see guys in contests sometimes take him here, you know, just because you never know like what can happen. But whatever. Brian Robinson off the board. Right now we're sitting with a 0-2-4-1 build with McBride being our third pick. Definitely going to roll 2 tight ends. I don't know what to do with the picks coming up here. I don't mind a Pollard faller. That seems nice. We kind of have to take Kyler though. We don't have to stack Kyler, but like it would feel nice to get Kyler here. Pollard goes, so no, we're good on that actually. Ayuk off, so we're gonna get Kyler here with McBride. I don't think it's crazy to double stack Knicks and Fields. Can we get Dak on the way back? Should be able to get Dak at 100 or 117 right at ADP with Kyler. Maybe we set ourselves up for somebody else. Like Stroud, maybe? We're not gonna get. Okay, that's fine actually. Okay, we set ourselves up for Stroud because we weren't gonna get Fields or Knicks there. I don't like Cooper Kupp's age profiling with, you know, injuries, especially hamstring injury. Now we can set ourselves up for a Stroud pick if we need. Hopefully we get Dak, but I mean, I see the guy snipe Joe Burrow. Could quite possibly, anything could happen, so. We do need running backs. Receiver room looks pretty tight. 1-2-5-1 build through 9 rounds. Kyler, James Cook, Kenneth Walker, CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Debo, Shakir, Higgins, McBride. So pretty stoked on the start. Let's hope that nobody messes it up. Usually somebody messes it up, but heat off at 108. Ramondre off at 110. His ADP is 121.8. Like, okay. Start thinking about what we want to do here. Got Arizona, Cincy set up. Got Dallas, Washington set up. Can't do anything with Philly. I don't want Javonte. Go ahead, just lock in Dak. So we'll roll Kyler, Dak as our QBs. And then what we're gonna do, the Nico Collins team is right here and has Jalen Hurts. I assume he's looking for CJ Stroud, so. Big run on QBs, by the way. This round alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 QBs off the board. A couple ahead of ADP. Drake May ahead of ADP. Brock Falls in ADP. Jordan Love ahead of ADP. Herbert ahead of ADP. Love goes at 127 routinely. Herbert goes at 125. Purdy is 12 picks past ADP. So interesting there how that happened. I'm not too stoked on Javonte Williams. Maybe we go JK. Yeah, let's run up J.K. Dobbins. I know we made the bet on Dallas, but let's grab Miles Sanders later, probably. Or Jaden Blue over Javonte. Just rock with that, see how that goes. Fully expecting Stroud to not make it back here. Dobbins has risen so far in ADP. In this contest, it obviously doesn't matter because it just opened. But if you're playing like BBM and you're reaching on him like that, which he's continuing to climb ever since he signed with Denver. I got him at like 180 something right before he signed, like the day before in the Schnauzer. I think I picked him in. But I just really didn't like anybody else there. Like I have McBride, so I don't need Warren or Kraft. I don't need a tight end. We don't have Lamar, so not really needing Bateman. Kirk, don't need him. Already have Higgins, which we could have doubled down on that, but we could always go Noel later and just double down on the Houston receivers, rookie receivers. That's if Stroud actually made it back to us. I don't actually imagine that happens. I think this team gets Stroud. Unless he gets sniped. Bateman was quite a faller though. Where's the Bateman falls 15 picks past ADP. Pretty good value for that drafter. And again, I'm a fan of Bateman. And maybe I should have gone Bateman, but so now we have a decision to make. We have a chance to trade Benson. Can't go Ray Davis because we already are on James Cook and Shakir. Again, don't really want tight end. We could go Ferguson if we wanted to. Stroud goes to the team that figured he would go to. Could go Ferguson and lock up tight end if we want to. Otherwise, there's Benson on the board for us at running back. Let's go Benson and see if we can come back around for Ferguson, maybe? Tooting off, Davis off. Tooting a faller, Ray Davis a faller. Would have loved the values, but just not part of the build right now. Now the question is, do we go Liget? I do like Tillman. Tillman and Liget go. Ferguson goes. So literally every pick we had in mind is now off the board. So we roll with that boy Romeo. Cool with Dobbs there. Not stackable. So could be looking more and more like 2 QB build. Not exactly what I'm hoping for, but everything there was kind of gross, to be quite honest. Darnold could be an option. And we could late stack him with Orton. What round was Torrey Horton drafted in? Torrey Horton draft and combine profile. 6'2.5", 196. 4'41", 37.5-inch vert. They picked him in the 5th round though. What's the Seahawks depth chart? I mean, it does set us up for Arroyo. MVS. MVS is 30. Um, Let's grab Bryce past ADP and go Coker later. And set us up for Jatavian Sanders, maybe. And we can get Dowdle, hopefully. Noel. Chubb, maybe. Chubb, Michael Wilson, I like. Miles Sanders. Jatavion off? I should have waited for quarterback. I kind of blinked. I wanted Darnold. Dowdle off. Damn, okay. We kind of get hosed there. Let's go Chubb. Betting on Houston. We'll go Nick Chubb. Miles Sanders probably won't make it back to us. Should have maybe gone him. I think I misclicked Bryce Young, but I mean, okay, set yourself up for Coker's falling down boards. Somehow we get sniped on Jatavian Sanders. He's upset that we sniped his stacking partner. But I'm gonna take the ADP faller, and you just blew a pick on Jatavian Sanders at 168, brother. Maybe you should look internally. Again, looking back, I probably should have ripped Sammy D. I'm an idiot, but I was really hoping to get Dowdle on the way back. Did not work out that way. So now I don't think we go 6 RBs. I think we roll with what we have. Cook, Walker, Dobbins, Benson, Chubb. Absolutely sending up a Hail Mary prayer. Let's go Coker so we don't get sniped off of him. I would like Mason Taylor here to fall, if possible. Noel off the board. Richardson off the board. My man's leaking for stuff. Richardson Dart. Yeah, have your draft screwed, buddy. I've had it happen to me too many times. Mason Taylor off the board. We're going to go ahead and run with some Chig. So we'll roll Chig. Really no correlation, but that's all that was left. Could have went Ben Sinnott. We're definitely going to try to take Tony Horton. If not, there's Jermaine Burton. I don't want Dontavian Wicks. Jerome Ford is an option. Who the Browns play? Buffalo. I don't want a running back there, but MVS down here could be a play. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Ford off, Hunt off, Mitchell, Giddens. Could go Samson. Are we comfortable enough? I guess the question, Bo, is are we comfortable enough at running back? I feel like receiver, we actually are comfortable enough. Let's go Dylan Sampson. So end on a 3-6-7-2 build. Murray, Prescott, Young, Cook, Walker, Dobbins, Benson, Chubb, Sampson, Lamb, Higgins, Samuel, Shakir, Jaden Higgins, Romeo Dobbs, Jalen Coker. Just need an injury to fall our way for Dobbs and Coker to pay off big. Higgins should pay off. Shakir, we know what he is, pretty consistent. Samuel hopefully hits his ceiling again, and then T and Lamb just got to stay healthy, with McBride and Chig rounding out the tight ends. Since he plays Arizona, so we get Kyler, Trey Benson, and McBride up against Higgins. We get CD and Lamb. CD and Debo in week 17 as well. Shakir and James Cook up against Dylan Sampson in that week 17 matchup. So and then we get some correlation with Chubb and Higgins. So this draft started out really nice. I flopped. I should have taken. So when we took Bryce, I really should have grabbed Darnold here, because we have Kenneth Walker. Not that he catches a ton of passes, but still some running back correlation there. And then I would have had my out at Torrey Horton later as well. And then instead of Nick Chubb, I don't know why I didn't go Miles Sanders there. We were pushing for Rico with the Bryce Young pick as well. Didn't happen. Fell short from one pick away. But that's where I flopped. Is like, instead of taking Darnold here, and then I should have taken Sanders here, which was my original plan, because that would have put Dak, Miles, and CD together paired. But so be it. That's our one in the chamber, though. We'll see how that plays out. I just felt a little thinner running back. Figured we could use some rookie upside and Samson to pair and get in the Buffalo game. Yeah, I felt comfortable at receiver too with Dobbs and Coker. I think they're guys that, you know, have some ceiling, but I'm cool with all that because we did go. Yeah, we're cool. We're cool. All right, that's gonna do it for the stream. That's an hour and a half in. We did 2 drafts. A little bit of talking, a little bit of waiting. Appreciate you guys for coming out if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. Was a pretty good one. Typical, like getting sniped, got upset a little bit. You know the dealio. Talking some shit on other drafters. Still wish there was a chat room. But that's going to do it for us. 2 drafts down. The single entry corgi done. We did a poodle. Going to try to get a couple more poodles in before that closes. I like the structure. I like the 40K to first as well. But again, if you haven't already, hit the link in the description. Use code TEMPTATION. Up to $1,000 deposit match on your first deposit on Underdog. And if you're already in, great. Also, like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want to boost the algorithm for us on YouTube and whatnot. And I appreciate anyone and everyone for supporting us. And we'll catch you in a few days, either Friday or Saturday.